Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have several statements that I request to ask for. If you allow, I can go through them in consecutively. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on the skewed distribution of relief food in Kirinyaga County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the criteria used to identify the beneficiary of relief food being distributed by government agencies and measures, if any, to ensure that such relief food fully benefits the targeted people. Number 2, explain why Marurumo, Siagini, Ndorome, and Indiroku areas in Kirinyaga County were not considered for provision of relief food, despite being severely drought hit. And 3, outline plans the government has put in place to ensure that there is sufficient relief food aid stock in order to ensure all targeted population in drought hit regions of the county benefit and deal conclusively with drought and food shortage. Mr. Speaker, my second statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, again I rise pursuant to the same Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the security situation in Kirinyaga County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, explain the circumstances that has led to the escalating cases of insecurity in Kerugoya, Sagana, Gorobani, Kagumo, and Kagio areas in Kirinyaga County following the recent wave of thefts and muggings. 2, state the number of reported insecurity incidents in the affected areas of Kerugoya, stating the nature of the incidents, victims targeted, including the number of fatalities and those injured, and the interventions made by the police to bring to book those behind the reported wave of insecurity in Kirinyaga County. 3, outline immediate and long-term action being taken by the Minister of Interior and National Administration to curb insecurity in Kirinyaga, including dealing with outlawed gangs like Uesame that are terrorizing residents of Kirinyaga Central. Mr. Speaker, my third statement, in pursuant to Standing Order 53.1, I seek the statement from the Standing Committee of Road, Transportation and Housing on speeding by driver transporting miraa through Kirinyaga County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, appraise the Senate on the extent of compliance to provisions stipulated in the Traffic Act by driver transporting miraa. 2, state the measures put in place, if any, to curb accidents caused by the drivers who continue to create havoc on the Ndiroku Gathigiri Prison Road, and the Viva, Red Soil, Muruvara, and Gurvan areas in the country. And 3, enumerate the action being taken by the government to ensure peaceful coexistence among road users, including motorists, cyclists, pedestrians, and dealing strictly with traffic offenders to curb cases of traffic offenses and accidents. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 53.1, I rise to seek the statement from the Standing Committee of Labor and Social Welfare on the older person cash transfer program. In the statement, the committee should, 1, outline plans by the government, if any, to register more beneficiaries to the older person's cash transfer, OPCT program, considering that the last registration was done 3 years ago. 2, state measures put in place by the government to ensure timely disbursement of the funds to the elderly. And 3, inform the Senate on the steps being taken to update the list of beneficiaries to exclude deceased individuals. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi. Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1.
Senator Osotsi, you had made a request, so you're on your feet for purposes of making contribution to that. If you're not ready, then I will call.
Well guided. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to comment on one of his statements on the issue of distribution of food to people affected by the famine. I noted that one of the issues he raised is about the system of distributing this food. Looks like the system of identifying the particular people who are supposed to benefit is not that efficient. And that raises concerns because there was a recommendation, even from the IMF and other donors, that the government changes from food distribution, physical food distribution, to cash transfers, which was more efficient. It had less challenges of procurement and corruption. And I wonder why the government has gone back to physical distribution of food, which has a lot of challenges, procurement, even logistical challenges, and even corruption. So I think it's an important issue that Senator for Kirinyaga has come up with, and I ask the relevant committee to quickly move in and request for sufficient information from the relevant ministry so that we don't expose ourselves to corruption that is likely to arise as a result of this crisis, disaster that we have. So I commend the senator for bringing this to the House, and I ask the committee to quickly do a report to this House on this matter so that we can save this country a lot of money, which is likely to get lost as a result of corrupt practices by some public officers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chiranke.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, out of the many statements that Senator Murango has said, Kamau, one of the statements that struck me is on the older person's cash transfer. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend and congratulate Senator Kamau that is learning very fast and becoming very industrious. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, because all of us at some point, we shall get old, and we need the government to take care of us at some point in life, except when you are a pensioner. Mr. Speaker, it is very sad that registration of older persons in terms of cash transfer, Mr. Speaker, and I asked this question during the last session of Senate before we adjourned for elections, that it is done 3 years. It should be done even monthly because people grow old. It does not mean that it is only after 3 years that people retire and get the age that is required. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, looking at the life expectancy, we should in fact lower the age of registering under the older persons cash transfer program. Even bringing at 60 years, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even the Bible talks about 70 to 80 years. 60 to 70 years or 70 to 80, how do you register somebody who is from 70 and above? The retirement age of any person is 60 years, Mr. Speaker, and therefore